This is CBC Here and Now.
So here the technology I would probably describe as cool.
To develop a wireless power, they need more workers.
So it's very new stuff, which nobody has in the world.
Money. A government email says that's why the Zeros didn't disconnect.
Growing up in the ghouls, it just felt like the 70s was a hangover that didn't go away.
Alan Hocko's new CBC series Caught premieres tonight.
Well, we have snowfall warnings in effect and snow for a good portion of us tonight, tomorrow, into tomorrow night. I'll break down the timeline coming up.
It's the cost of justice, doing your civic duty, being a juror. But there's also a personal cost, seeing disturbing images that are often too traumatic and too graphic to show the public.
Now, we've examined this issue on Here and Now in recent weeks, but tonight, a twist. The family member of a victim steps in to help those that government won't. Here and Now's Ariana Kelland reports.
Sitting through the trial for Brandon Phillips, Heather McGraw and her family saw and heard things no one should ever have to. Her father, Larry Wellman, was killed in October 2015. Wellman's attempts to stop an armed robber, the shot that killed him, and his last words to his wife were all caught on camera. And that video was played not once, but over and over again at trial. As she struggled herself, McGraw says her thoughts went out to those in the jury box.
That was constant in our family's mind. We spoke of that often, how it's not just us going through this process, it's these 12 people who didn't ask for that.
Jurors can't get up and leave when testimony is too hard or turn away when a photo is too gruesome. It's all part of the process, a process that in this province doesn't provide help for jurors when the trial is all over. And it's an issue right across the country. Former juror Mark Ferrand is even suing the Ontario and federal governments. He was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after sitting through a murder trial.
We're just starting as a society to recognize the impacts, and luckily there's people stepping forward like Mark Ferrand, who is a strong advocate.
McGraw contacted the Canadian Mental Health Association with an offer of financial support for a group that's long been forgotten.
We were delighted to have a chat with her, and we'll look forward to doing some research and seeing what we can do to implement something.
The lasting impact of jury duty was evident at Phillips' sentencing hearing last week when 5 members of the jury came back. That wasn't lost on McGraw.
It was hard for them. It was very difficult for them. So I'm grateful, and it's nice to see their faces show support.
Ariana Kelland, CBC News, St. John's.
There was a controversial decision at Supreme Court in St. John's over the weekend. Ann Norris was found not criminally responsible for the death of Marcel Reardon. There are those who are saying she got away with murder. Here and Now's Glenn Payette has this analysis of the not criminally responsible defense.
In our system, the Crown has to prove someone is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A person doesn't have to prove they are innocent. But that changes when the accused, like Ann Norris, claims not to be criminally responsible because of a mental disorder. Then it is up to the defense to show that the person isn't criminally responsible. And for the defense to succeed, Norris's lawyers had to convince the jury that Norris was more likely than not delusional when she killed Marcel Reardon with a hammer. Put another way, that Norris was not in control of her behavior because of a mental illness. Lawyer Mark Gruchy successfully represented Nicholas Lehman in a not criminally responsible case a couple of years ago. Lehman had attacked a boy on a soccer pitch in Conception Bay South in 2014. Gruchy says the jury in the Norris case made the right call.
Based on what I've heard and based on what I'm aware of and what was argued and so forth, it seems to be the appropriate verdict. occurring in the context of a person with an established history of psychotic delusions.
Norris's long history with mental illness was front and center at the trial. A psychiatrist who treated Norris for years testified that Norris suffered from delusions. There was evidence that Norris kept weapons under her bed because she was afraid of being sexually assaulted in her sleep. Two forensic psychiatrists testified that Norris was delusional when she killed Marcel Reardon with a hammer, that Norris believed Reardon was going to rape or even kill her. A psychologist who did a battery of tests on Norris said she was not a psychopath, in other words, inherently violent. Even the psychiatrist called as an expert witness by the Crown agreed with the diagnosis that Norris could be bipolar with acute psychotic features. But the not criminally responsible verdict does not mean Norris is a free woman.
People who are found not criminally responsible not infrequently end up actually in custody longer, in effect, than people who are found criminally responsible. So it's not a get out of jail free card. It's actually a very intensive process involving a great restraints in your freedom. And I don't think people realize that.
Ann Norris is just 30 years old as she begins her stay on the forensic psychiatric unit here at the Waterford Hospital, the hospital that released her just days before she killed Marcel Reardon. How long she stays here is open-ended, months, years. That depends on a review panel that will assess her regularly. Glenn Payette, CBC News, St. John's.
Now, after that verdict on Saturday, reporters asked one of Norris's lawyers, Jerome Kennedy, to respond to those who say Norris did get away with murder.
I did my first trial on one of these. I argued temporary insanity. So we've moved away from insanity, but it's always been part of Canadian and Commonwealth law. And it's something that's very necessary because one of the basic principles of our criminal justice system is that if someone doesn't have the requisite state of mind, that they should not be held liable for their criminal acts.
A man died in a snowmobile accident on the weekend. The RCMP say it happened around midnight Friday in Norris Arm, and there are no details about just what happened. Police are only saying that it involved a single snowmobile and that a 34-year-old was found dead at the scene. The RCMP are investigating.
The charge against a Mount Pearl man accused in the death of Victoria Head has been upgraded to first-degree murder. Steve Bragg was originally charged with second-degree murder. The body of Victoria Head was found November 11th in a field in St. John's. Police say the upgraded charge is the result of new evidence.
A man was taken to hospital Saturday after a stabbing at a notorious house in downtown St. John's. There was a police presence outside 74 Springdale Street for much of Saturday. RNC officers were called to the area around noon to a report of an assault with a weapon. It isn't known what type of weapon was used. The house has been connected to numerous crimes over time. The most recent, a year ago, when someone was held against his will, beaten, and then shot.
It's time now to bring Ryan in to talk about the weather, and there's weather on the way.
Yeah, a lot of teachers, a lot of students saying, come on, Ryan.
And more than that, anywhere I traveled today, everybody's saying, so it's going to be a snow day tomorrow, and it is an interesting one because of the way it's going to be rolling in. Getting underway slowly but steady tonight, and then slowly but steady through tomorrow, into tomorrow. And it's a long duration event, so these are always harder to nail down for students and teachers. Have a look at the map. Here is what we are expecting again by Wednesday. So it's a long duration, 15 to 25 centimeters on the menu for the Avalon, including St. John's. I think the bullseye here, the best chance of getting those amounts closer to 30 centimeters, the Burin, Clarenville, Bonavista, edging into Terra Nova, and then amounts will drop off as we work our way west. We'll dive into this a little bit deeper coming up in your full forecast details. Do want to give you a quick heads up on that timeline. Snow spreading into central and then eastern Newfoundland overnight. By 6 a.m., we're looking at about 5 to as much as 10 centimeters on the ground for a good portion of us. Heavier amounts over the south coast of the island, including the Burin Peninsula. And then as we roll throughout the day, the best potential of some of those heavier snowfall rates will be for the Avalon, St. John's, Clarenville, Bonavista, the Burin Peninsula. So we could pick up another 10 to 15 centimeters through the day tomorrow. So perhaps a little bit of good news for the students and the teachers there. That low will roll over the Avalon. That will likely bring some of those heavier snowfall rates to an end on Tuesday night, but still snowing, but the steadiest amounts still continue again for areas just to the northeast, hence those higher totals there. And we are tapering off in Labrador in western parts of Newfoundland, especially through Tuesday into Tuesday night. So a full breakdown, winds, what they're going to do with that snow and the impact there. Of course, with your full forecast details in just a few minutes. Debbie.
Thanks, Ryan. CBC News has learned the Sea Rose oil rig did not disconnect last year when an iceberg came too close to it because of money. A government email obtained by CBC says the decision was economically driven. The rig was supposed to shut down and sail away as per its ice management plan. Here now's Chris O'Neill-Yates reports.
84 people were on board and ordered to muster and brace for impact on March 29, 2017, when an iceberg came within 180 meters of the Sea Rose. The iceberg was 1.5 times the size of an NHL hockey rink. In an email written by an official in the Department of Natural Resources on January the 17th, the day Husky was ordered to suspend production, it indicates that money was a factor in the decision not to disconnect, with the iceberg bearing down on the Sea Rose. The suspension was a big deal for Husky. Top brass from head office in Calgary flew here to St. John's to manage the fallout from the suspension of oil production, according to meeting minutes I obtained. An email I also got under the Access to Information Act says that during a discussion about the Sea Rose's close call with the iceberg, CNL OPB head Scott Tessier said that the investigation showed that Husky's decision was economically driven. At the time of the suspension, Tessier told CBC News that it would have taken in the order of 6 to 7 weeks to get Sea Rose back into production had it disconnected. Husky's suspension lasted just 9 days. That's the time it took them to make the changes the regulator had asked for. I requested an interview with Tessier about his comment regarding Husky's financial motivation, but a spokesperson for the CNL OPB said it would be inappropriate because the investigation is still ongoing. I also asked Husky to address whether economic considerations factored into its decision to contravene its ice management plan. A spokesperson replied by email that Husky is committed to making sure that an incident like this can't happen again, and that they're putting measures in place to ensure that it doesn't.
Well, there have been other penalties that have accrued to Husky. They've lost several of their key senior people. They have, they had issues with their stock price. Their senior management was engaged in this out of Calgary for quite some time. Their loss of reputation, let alone their, other penalties that may have accrued to them. And CNL-OPB has reserved the right to perhaps even put in more penalties.
So we will just have to wait until the CNL-OPB's final report is released to see what it may contain about the role money played in the Sea Rose's close call with that iceberg. Chris O'Neill-Yates, CBC News, St. John's.
A worker on the Muskrat Falls site faces sexual assault charges. The RCMP investigated and laid a charge after a co-worker filed a complaint last fall. The Minister of Natural Resources confirmed the details today in the House of Assembly. The man charged worked for a subcontractor and was removed from the site. As for the worker who made the complaint, apparently that person was fired. And that's something Siobhan Cody has asked Nalcor to look into.
I understand from the family that there has been an investigation. I understand from Nalcor that the report has been issued. I understand from Nalcor that they are going back to the contractor on this very issue, that they are concerned about some of the aspects of that report. And I do know it's before the court, and that the accused is no longer on site.
Memorial University is hiring 2 new safety supervisors and revamping lab procedures in the engineering faculty. It's a result of this incident last summer that saw the evacuation of the engineering building. An internal report looked into what happened and recommended those changes. CBC News obtained that report. It reveals that a small hydrothermal reactor could not release pressure. The RNC bomb squad was called in to deal with it. The Dean of Engineering now says there was no chance of an explosion, although that was not known at the time. That was tense when it happened, but something else that's not quite as tense, it's a complete different mood. Could be another little while though before we found out who won the big lottery. jackpot
Yeah,
on the
that's
weekend.
right. The province certainly abuzz since the Atlantic Lottery Corporation confirmed Saturday that one Lotto Max ticket worth $60 million was sold in this province. The ALC calls it the largest lottery win ever in Atlantic Canada.
While it's not official, there is talk that it was won by about 30 people who work at the Come By Chance oil refinery. And of course, if that proves to be true, we'll be referring to them probably as former workers.
Yeah, probably. If you've ever wanted to work in an oil refinery, this is probably the time to get your job application in. We can tell you that someone with the winning ticket has come forward, but the reason we can't tell you anything else about this is because the Lottery Corporation is going through what it calls a security process to confirm that the winning ticket is actually valid. A spokesperson says the plan was to do that paperwork today, but security could take anywhere from 2 to 30 days.
We'll certainly find out in due time. We'll keep you posted.
Power with that, we have some running lights that you would actually see on an ATV or something like that.
Solus Power in Mount Pearl is all about wireless power, but it's running out of highly skilled local workers to hire. Welcome back to Here and Now. It's a cutting-edge company in Mount Pearl creating wireless technology, and it's running out of locals to hire with the specialized skills it needs. Here and Now's Ramona Deering reports.
If you spend time at a desk, you've probably got this going on too, a mess of cords everywhere. Solus Power in Mount Pearl is all about going wireless. This is the latest prototype. 35 watts of power hops across a gap of 100 millimeters with no wires in between, but more than enough power to do this.
We have some running lights that you would actually see on an ATV or something like that, powered fully here.
Mitch Chalk is an engineer here. He says sending that much juice that far without wires is unmatched within the industry.
And just to show you exactly how much power is being transferred, you can see right here this measurement device says the 35 watts are being received.
He moved from New Brunswick back to Newfoundland 4 years ago to work at the homegrown company.
Wireless power seemed like this black magic, unattainable thing that people were doing here and were actually doing it, and I wanted to be part of that.
This video from the company shows some of the ways wireless power can be used. For phones, of course, but also to recharge soldiers' gear. Just by sitting down, those green lights show the vest is charging. And drones can recharge. Boeing is a customer. Lockheed Martin has invested in Solus Power. It's also received funding from the federal and provincial governments. This is not your standard office. Flexible hours are encouraged, and you can pick up a ping pong paddle anytime. Having employees with diverse backgrounds also shakes things up. More than half the workers are from Newfoundland and Labrador, with roughly 1/3 from other countries. Some international students snapped up from Memorial University. There are people from 7 countries here, including China and Jordan. Max Rom is from Germany, but he's deeply familiar with Canada's tech industry. He used to be in charge of product development with BlackBerry.
So here the technology I would probably describe as cool. So it's very new stuff, which nobody has in the world.
As one of the locals, engineer Mitch Chalk likes the mix and what all those different backgrounds bring to the company.
Growing up in different ways means different ways of thinking, which means naturally different angles to attack problems from. And so I think it's actually helpful and conducive to a productive engineering environment.
Solus Power CEO Michael Gottlieb agrees, but says hiring international employees is not a feel-good exercise. Something is in short supply locally.
A matter of skills.
Expect this company to keep bringing in highly specialized workers from outside Newfoundland and Labrador.
And I think we've already taken most of the local talent, especially technical talent.
The company is in a scale-up phase, looking for more customers. It's all about trying to stay on top in a field where the competition is global. Ramona Deering, CBC News, St. John's.
Thanks very much to our colleague Ramona Deering for that story. So are we doing enough to encourage young people to go into careers in the tech industry? Well, I'm going to ask that question and many others of Ron Taylor. Ron is the CEO of the Provincial Association for Technology Industries. Thanks very much for joining me here.
Thank you. Well, there's never been really a better time to get into the technology sector. I mean, we've seen some real exponential growth in the last decade. We've seen the tech sector grow up to 165 companies, approximately $1.62 billion in revenue, and employing about 4,000 people, which works out to about $400,000 to every job that we produce here in Newfoundland and Labrador.
So you're pretty optimistic about the industry. We've just seen Solus Power out in Mount Pearl breaking ground on wireless power. They need extremely highly specialized workers, but what about the rest of the industry, the tech industry here? Are companies finding it difficult to get the right skilled workers?
Yes, we are having that challenge here, but that's a Canadian problem. That's not unique to Newfoundland and Labrador. In the next couple of years, there's 182,000 jobs need to be filled across Canada just in technology. And the next year after that, there's another 30,000 jobs. So it's not just a problem or a challenge we have here in Newfoundland and Labrador, it's a challenge across the province. We're fortunate enough here that we do have young people that do take a real interest in the technology sector. The key is to focus them younger. We have them focused very much now in the post-secondary system, but we really need to get them earlier, in that K-12 system. As soon as they get into kindergarten, let's start teaching them coding, teaching them what technology is about. Because we know that not every child is going to go into the technology industry, but every child should have that choice.
Now, we have heard a lot about coding and being promoted as a good idea, as you've just said, for younger children. It's not mandatory in this province, but what's the situation in other provinces?
Well, other provinces like New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, they actually teach it up to grade 6 as mandatory. So the students, those children are going into kindergarten, grade 1, they're being exposed to technology. And part of technology is coding. It's not just coding, it's things like doing gaming, it's robotics, it's science and math competitions, all those things that are preparing our children for the jobs of tomorrow.
So we're talking about the younger children in the K-12 system, but what about computer science degrees? What is the need in this province for people with that training?
We don't have enough of them. We need more of them. We have about under 50 that are graduated in Newfoundland and Labrador every year, which is nowhere close to being where we need to. If you want to do a quick comparison, Nova Scotia graduates over 1,000.
Oh my. And what would you consider a good number for Memorial University?
I'd like to see it up in the hundreds. And definitely see it up in the hundreds. Right now, one of our more successful technology companies, Verafin, they take up about 75% of the graduates coming out of Memorial. So you can see that our challenge isn't employing the people, it's finding enough people that go into computer sciences studies that we can actually hire going forward.
You hear the comment that technology could be a potential economic driver. How do we maximize that in this province with the right skilled workers, and what could it mean for our economy?
Well, it's definitely going to play a huge part in the future of the economy. And it goes beyond just what we have right now. It's getting more women in technology at a founder level. It's getting more Indigenous groups into technology. It's going beyond the greater St. John's area into our more rural parts of the province, because as I've said before many times, is that technology knows no boundaries. You can set up a technology company anywhere in the world. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we've done a really great job of it, but I think there's even greater opportunities outside the greater St. John's area.
Well, it's interesting when it comes to the kind of technology, Debbie, that location doesn't really seem to matter anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly what Ron was saying, and he's pretty pumped about the growth potential for the industry.
Yeah.
He's saying it could double in about 10 years, and of course it would be great to have more homegrown people filling those jobs.
Yeah,
they're not bad paying either.
No, and getting those young kids coding earlier too, right? Interesting points. Even after her bronze medal performance, Osmond continued to dazzle.
This weather forecast has been brought to you by Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism. 5,000 kilometers of groomed trails are waiting to be explored. Embrace winter today.
Now, I know a lot of you want to hear exactly what Ryan's going to predict as far as snow goes, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But one of the really fun things about working here now is that we all get a chance from time to time, especially you, to go to classes and read books and stories. And Debbie, you got to do this, and you didn't even have to leave the fishbowl.
I didn't. I would have liked to have visited the school, but I joined the students of Cabot Academy in Western Bay via FaceTime. That was on Friday. Just have a look. Referee blew his whistle. So I read the iconic French-Canadian children's book about hockey called The Hockey Sweater. Now, it was the 100th day of school at Cabot Academy. So there they are. They decided to celebrate with lots of fun activities, including this reading. And some of them were dressed up, by the way, in salt and pepper hats to, I guess, celebrate all historic things. They had a lot of activities, as I said, on the go. And I just want to extend a big thank you and
such a great book.
Warm, long distance welcome.
That's nice. That's good. Because lots of schools we can't get to, right? So there you go.
It is a great book. And, you know, even me as a Leafs fan, that's actually my book that Debbie was reading to those kids. Yeah, it's as a Leafs fan, that's hard for me to have a book like that in my house, but it is a great book.
They asked me what my favorite team was, and I said, Toronto.
Yeah.
There you go.
Keep it in your good books.
Absolutely.
Now, the Leaf, and you'll be happy when we get to Athlete of the Day today, trust me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll look forward to that. And Anthony, you guys Senators fans have had a tough week, so I won't bring it up. Although I just did. Have a look at our weather map, and yes, all the kiddies out there, Debbie, including the ones you were reading to, are going to be wondering about tomorrow. And here is what is on the menu tonight, Tuesday and Tuesday night. Again, these longer duration events are certainly tougher to nail down in terms of whether it's going to be a snow day or not for the kiddies. Looking at widespread amounts of 15 to 30 centimeters over central, northeastern, eastern parts of Newfoundland. The best chance, I think, of getting those amounts into the 20, 25, 30 centimeter range will indeed be for Conagra, the Burin, Clarenville up towards Bonavista. As the center of the low moves over the Avalon, it'll kind of shut off the snowmaking machine for a little bit here, especially the later parts of tomorrow into tomorrow night, where we could still pick up some additional totals here towards the northeast and the Burin. Amounts again dropping off towards the west, but a solid 10 to as much as 15 centimeters Corner Brook, more so towards Grand Falls, Windsor. And amounts dropping off into southeastern Labrador as well. Just a trace from Nain back to Labrador City, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, closer to that 5 to as much as 10 centimeter range, including the snow that fell today. Now, special weather statements in effect from Corner Brook to Bonavista, but the heaviest amounts again right along the south coast towards the Burin, Clarenville, and up towards the Avalon Peninsula, issued by Environment Canada. The snow is underway along the west coast of the island. The low that will be our snowmaker is still just to the south of Nova Scotia. It will spin up and really start to develop that snowfall. We are looking at that snow marching into central Newfoundland as we speak. It's underway right now, Port aux Basques on the west coast, getting a little blustery there as those southeasterly winds are picking up. Watch your timeline as we roll into the midnight hour and just beyond. That's when that snow will get underway for places like St. John's and the Avalon. Winds picking up from the southeast. So your snapshot for tomorrow morning is snow the steadiest for the Avalon, the Burin, the northeast into central. Amounts will start to taper off through the morning in central parts of Newfoundland, and we are looking at just some flurries lingering for most of Labrador. Your detailed regional breakdown, winds are going to be gusting here from the southeast in that 60 to 70 kilometer per hour range. The darker purples indicate some of those heavier snowfall rates that we'll be working throughout the day tomorrow, tapering off a little bit later day as that low starts to push in from the south over the southern Avalon. Temperatures near the freezing mark, and so some localized blowing snow here, but not a traditional, real, I don't want to say the B word, but really blowing around in terms of a blizzard, not quite there, but gusts to 60 or 70. Localized areas will certainly be seeing some blowing snow, especially places like the southern shore. Central parts of Newfoundland will see some steady snow throughout the day tomorrow as well. Temperatures are going to be near the freezing mark, and it's snow on the go from start to finish. Note the west coast here. Some of those heavier snows start to depart into the afternoon. I think even Port aux Basques, maybe over towards Burgeo, a bit of afternoon sunshine. Winds becoming northwesterly with some gusts to 40 generally, some gusts towards 60 in Port aux Basques. Lingering flurries into the afternoon, but the steadiest snowfall into the morning for the northern peninsula, southeastern Labrador, and that snow starting to taper off for Nain, Makkovik. Chance of some lingering flurries into the afternoon, but primarily in the morning, and temperatures near -9 for Labrador City. Again, that snow will continue for Tuesday night in through Wednesday, hence those totals. That's why they'll be so high, because it will last for quite a while, and even lingering flurries through the day on Wednesday, and we are talking about temperatures that are going to be still hovering near the freezing mark. We'll break down the long range. Like northeasterly winds, you're in luck. Details coming up. Debbie and Anthony.
Thanks so much. Now, Anthony, Caitlin Osmond continued to shine at the Olympics, even after capturing an individual bronze medal in Pyeongchang.
Yeah, and on Saturday night, she took to the ice once again at the Olympic Gala, and she was just radiant, skating to Tori Kelly's version of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Caitlin Osmond. It was a special couple of weeks for Caitlin Osmond. Her second Olympic experience started off with a gold medal in the team competition, and she followed that up with a bronze medal in the women's event, making her the 6th Canadian woman to win an Olympic medal in singles skating.
Just so sensational.
Oh,
Fantastic.
fabulous,
Whoa.
fabulous. We're all so proud of her.
Yeah, fabulous.
Still with skating, CBC NL held a free family skate on the weekend. Just have a look at how it unfolded.
Yet to help celebrate the end of the Olympics, we invited everyone to the Glacier Arena in Mount Pearl. And this cute kid that you're seeing there, 4-year-old Sebastian Eddy, only his second time on skates. Not bad.
Everyone had hot chocolate, plenty of giveaways by the CBC, and with Caitlin shining as she did in Pyeongchang, we can expect to see a lot more interest in figure skating.
Was that a Lutz?
For us on Saturday, it was just about regular old ice skating, having a lot of fun.
This might. Well, this time he's on the other side of the law. There he goes, on that side. Alan Hocko makes his return to television this evening tonight.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Jumping. Fast. Pretty cool.
That is cool.
He agrees.
Welcome back once again. Well, they say the clothes make the man, but Alan Hocko says they also make the character. Hocko's new TV series Caught premieres tonight on CBC.
And it's set in the 1970s, and the era's groovy fashions are on full display in this miniseries. Here and now, Zach Gowdy got an exclusive peek inside the Caught closet.
Weirdly, I dress kind of like this anyways. The main bulk of the story is set in 1978, so that was a lot of fun. And, you know, I wasn't alive then. I was born in 77, but I feel like my entire experience growing up as a kid was so influenced by the 70s. Like, growing up in the Ghouls, it just felt like the 70s was a hangover that didn't go away. Like, on Slaney, he's got cowboy boots. Like, I knew he had to have cowboy boots because it felt like every guy who was, you know, 15 years older than me growing up always had cowboy boots. I always wanted to be a cowboy boot guy. It's never really happened for me.
Oh, big man's busted out, huh? How important are the clothes when it comes to constructing a character?
In many ways, for an actor, the costume is the first sort of experience an audience has, right? So they form their impression of who the person is by what they're wearing.
Like, who is this?
This is a mannequin. I like to call, no, this is Slaney. This is my character. So Slaney busts out of prison in the opening of the show, and we follow his journey where he's trying to get some redemption or revenge for why he's in prison in the first place.
Just don't stop. Please.
What is a hero piece?
A hero piece is something that the character will wear always. And a lot of actors only like to wear the hero piece because it starts to form to their body and they kind of come attached to it. This jacket is an original from the 70s, and so this is for the hero piece, and then we had 3 made for all the stunts.
There's an actual manhunt for me!
The old classic, right?
Good Lord.
I think you should try that on, Zach.
I don't know,
I think
man.
we should definitely get a costume fitting for Zach, and you should be wearing this.
Hey, right? Are you casting for season 2 yet?
Not yet, but
Huh?
I think you should try on the heroes.
Ooh, wow. Hold on now. Is this authentic Alan Hocko blood? Did you get shot in the making of this?
That actually is a spoiler.
Yeah.
All of this stuff, all the work that everybody does behind the scenes, this entire costume department, all of our designers, all of our, our people in our sets and all of that kind of stuff is what builds that fabric. And what you see at the end of the day, it takes so much work from all of these expert people. So many of them from here in the province who've been, working with us from the start of Doyle, who now are, keys of departments and just dedicated to their art and their work. And it gives me like shivers to think about how well they do.
You're trying to go out with a bang, but it'll be more of a crash.
Oh, even the old logo. Is that quite something? Looks like you're going to see a lot of stubbies and cigarettes in this series. And you can catch the first episode of Caught tonight on CBC television.
It's on at 9:30 Island time. Episode 1 is called The Break.
Okay, go easy. Don't rub any more hair off. All right, be careful with that. Precious cargo. I think the left side's got to come up a little tiny bit. Well, there it is. It's official. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning, March 5th on the CBC St. John's Morning Show.
Let's shine the spotlight on one of our local young athletes. This is 4-year-old Slade Freeman, who comes to us from the Port Rexton area.
Yep, Slade, you just made Ryan Snoddon's night. Slade enjoys lacing up as a cabbit with the Bonavista Hockey Association. Way to go, Slade.
Congratulations on being chosen as today's young athlete of the day and wearing such a fine hockey jersey.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
Okay, Ryan, before we get to the weather, for people who sometimes complain about their jobs, how's this for a day at the office? A couple of Parks Canada workers used a pulley system to carry wood down the cliffside this morning. This is at Signal Hill.
Do you know how icy it is up there?
I can't imagine.
They're doing off-season upgrades to the North Head Trail. That trail is closed to the public, so Parks Canada is asking people to steer clear until spring.
But there is good news. There are more than 300 kilometers of East Coast Trail, so plenty of other options if you want to get the yak tracks out, or
you need them this winter.
Yeah, for sure.
I needed them this weekend.
With that snow cover, you and I were talking about our weekends and both saying the same thing, that with that little bit of powder on top,
yeah, it was slippery.
Quickly go for a slide. So be mindful. And that will even apply after the latest snowfall, which is on the way. Let's have a look at temperatures across North America. Many snowbirds down in the south are enjoying the heat. How about Orlando at 29 degrees today, 23 in New Orleans, Houston's at 21. Our friends out in Arizona who are always keeping an eye on us as well. Temperatures near 20 right now in Phoenix as well. So it's, pretty warm one there. Now, as we take a look at the weather systems across the country, we're going to be watching the jet that's set pretty far to the south right now, which is allowing us most of that warm air to stay confined to the far south. Watching this system that's going to be that is rolling its way onto the west coast right now. That's going to be diving south and then up towards our neck of the woods as we roll towards the mid stages of next week, of this week. But it looks like an area of high pressure is going to be holding firm and keeping any of that active weather primarily to the south after this system. So, with all that said, here is how things are going to be playing out by Wednesday morning. In case you missed it, 15 to 30 for the eastern parts of the island, although the best chance of 30 does appear to be Conagra, Burin, Clarenville, Bonavista. I think we'll top out near 25 centimeters across the Avalon and even towards Gander, Terra Nova, and then amounts dropping off as you work your way towards the west. This is going to be the scene temperature-wise tomorrow. Temperatures near the freezing mark. Winds aren't going to be a huge issue with this system, but we will be seeing some gusts in the 60-70 kilometer per hour range with some blowing snow for the Avalon, the Burin, Clarenville, and Bonavista. That's where we'll see our gustiest winds around the center of this low, and then winds not so much an issue for central and west, where we're talking about gusts in the 40 to 50 kilometer per hour range. It's very quiet through Labrador tomorrow as that light snow tapers off to some flurries. Now watch as your timeline here continues and that low moves overhead later Tuesday into Tuesday night. That will mean that the snow tapers off to some very light snow, even some flurries for the Avalon, but continues for Clarenville, Bonavista, and up towards the northeast coast, even the Burin Peninsula with those additional totals. That's why you have your best chance of getting to 30 centimeters there. Wednesday, again, light snow just tapers off to a few flurries, and then watch as we roll into the long range. Backdoor front here comes through, snow to some ice, and then some drizzle and freezing drizzle. And look at the relentless northeast wind here, a blocking high over Greenland, just dominating with days and days of northeasterly winds. This would not be good in June or July. You get the idea. When we see that northeasterly wind, it'd be an RDF setup for sure. This time of year, it's going to mean our temperatures are hovering near the freezing mark. We're going to see some flurry chances, some freezing drizzle chances. Basically, that's the setup Friday, Saturday into the weekend. Northeast winds, so we're not getting much temperature-wise. A little bit milder on the west coast, shielded from that onshore flow, but even Labrador warming up relative to what you've been seeing this winter. It's been a cold one. You'll be back closer to the freezing mark as we roll through the next, at least the latter half of that 7-day trend. That's your forecast tonight. Debbie?
In national news now, police in BC are investigating the cause of a major highway pileup that sent 29 people to hospital overnight, some with critical injuries.
A lot of screaming. I believe it was the driver over the intercom said, "Brace yourself," or get get prepared or brace yourself, and there was this what felt like a forever silence, and then boom, we were hit hard by something.
The crash happened on an icy stretch of the Coquihalla Highway near the town of Hope. That's about 150 kilometers east of Vancouver. The spectacular collision involved at least 2 semi-trailers, 2 loaded buses, and 2 cars. First responders worked for hours to free people trapped. Some were in vehicles that skidded down a steep, snowy embankment. It took almost 12 hours before the highway fully reopened to traffic.
A commission looking into child protection cases involving the Mother Risk Test Lab says bad science tore vulnerable children out of more than 50 families in Ontario. The lab tested hair samples for drugs and alcohol, and the results were presented as evidence in all of those cases. But the lab and its methods were discredited, and it was shut down in 2015. Today, the commissioner in charge of the investigation made a number of recommendations to help families who've been affected by the lab's faulty work. Out of the 56 cases where families were broken apart because of the tests, there are only 4 instances of children being returned to their parents.
Well, yesterday was a great day, but I'm not sure it was quite enough of a great day to go swimming. That's just what these folks did for a great cause. If you can guess where this was and bonus points for what the cause was for, we'll have the answer after the break.
Wow.
A beach?
Ding, 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 ding.
Welcome back once again. Well, archaeologists say an underwater cave thought to be the biggest in the world can shed new light on the ancient Mayan civilization.
Well, they say that they found ancient artifacts at the site, along with the bones of humans, as well as some extinct animals that date back to the last ice age. The cave in eastern Mexico measures 347 kilometers. It's hoped that further exploration will help researchers better understand the history of the Yucatan Peninsula.
Wow, that is fascinating. I wouldn't want to be down there, though.
You don't like underwater caves?
No.
Kind of creepy for you?
I think I'd have, I just couldn't do it. Anyway, could robots ever take over as man's best friend?
Yeah, you may have seen this one on your social media feed before. Spot Mini can open a door on its own by locating the handle with built-in body cameras.
But this is a test of the robot's ability to handle human disturbances as it tries to complete its mission. Engineers say poking and pulling at Spot Mini helps to improve its function.
Yeah, no robots were harmed in the making of this video. Kind of animal robotic cruelty.
You can't cuddle up and scratch behind the ears.
It's weird to see that. I don't know. I can't.
But the legs are sort of actually like a real animal.
One step closer to the Jetsons all the time. Have a look at our weather picture of the day. And Debbie got this one during the commercial break.
Yeah, very impressive.
I was looking at, small sand or stones, so it's not Middle Cove and everything.
Right.
And then I looked across and I thought, Holyrood.
Yes.
Is that a giant lobster or a crab?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both there. I'm not sure. Anyway, I can't believe the smiles, but great on them. This crew for the Canadian Mental Health Association went for a dip. So a great fundraiser, a great cause there. And thanks to Jim for sharing.
Yeah, great shot. And thanks for being with us, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.